Hi Aquarius, this is your May 2020 General Tarot Forecast. So this is for Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, and Aquarius Rising signs. My sincerest apologies for getting these out late. These are for the entire month of May, and I normally get them out to you a little bit earlier than the beginning of the month. We had this bizarre provincial tragedy a couple of weeks ago, and it just really took the good out of me. So anyway, tiny bit behind schedule. Hope you'll enjoy this all the same. Messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. What does Aquarius need to know for the month of May 2020? Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Messages for Aquarius. All right, guys, so we have a pretty in-depth reading for you. We're going to be using 2 tarot decks, and then of course get an oracle card from each of my oracle decks to polish off your reading for you. So this is just the first layer. We'll get an indication of what is behind, what's really going on for the month for you, and then we'll just get some extra clarity here. So we have a couple of 3s already. There could be a third-party situation or a lot of communication regarding the direction that you're taking or your peer groups or the direction your peer groups are taking. Pardon me. Here are a couple of knights. Okay, a couple of queens, couple of knights. It only looks like we have 1 king in this first layer. I want to mention that this is significant, however. I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck card in just a moment with you. But we know that 2 queens found here. So we have a Cancer and a Capricorn individual, or people who are on the polar opposites of something here. And 2 queens does indicate slander or maliciousness. So just watch out for that, particularly the last 2 weeks of the month here. We're going to pay attention to avoiding communication regarding slander and maliciousness. And then the 2 knights here, we're looking at some mutable energy, Gemini and Virgo. And of course here we're looking at friends from the past. So this could have to do with returning to work. For example, we do have some worker energy here. But let us get into the bottom of the deck energy before I pull cards from the second tarot deck for you. 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So really missing people, really feeling nostalgic, sentimental, longing for the past. You could be interested in living out a childhood dream, or interested in talking to someone or expressing an interest in a childhood dream. We don't have any pages here, otherwise I would suggest that this has to do with a child of yours. But that doesn't appear to be the case, unless your child is a Gemini or a Virgo. But I find a lot of people, pardon me, are experiencing 6 of Cups energy, particularly the first 6 signs of the zodiac. So Aries to Virgo, we're really experiencing a lot of longing and sentimentality. I think that's pretty normal considering the era in which we live, the events that are shaping the world. Let me see what else I can lay on top here, and we'll get a really nice in-depth look for you. So we're going to qualify the Celtic cross here in front of me for Aquarius. We qualify the Celtic cross for Aquarius. The Celtic cross for Aquarius. We do have the Emperor here. You could be dealing with an Aries individual as well, or someone who is in a position of power, possibly a boss. And we have your energy here, Aquarius, in your near future. Mature, intellectual, advisory, could be an expert in their field. All right, so let's get our second layer off on top here, and then we'll look in detail at each position. Okay, so basically something tricky. Something's tricky. Your direction has to undergo significant changes. It looks like you already have the answers, even if you are consulting an expert. All right, so bottom of the deck energy regarding the Six of Cups, so qualifying that as justice, right? So here's where we're looking at the Libra. And balance is necessary, balanced emotions could be necessary, balancing childhood dreams against, or, you know, goals of your something that was important to you as a child, or even important to your child. There's an element of justice here, so fairness. If this is a legal or a clinical battle for you, it looks like you will be assisted moving forward. You will get the answers that you need. There could be a delay around health, or there could be some changes to health or service, what you even do for a living or what you provide here, but significant changes that may be forthcoming in the 3rd or 4th week of the month for you, Aquarius. Looks like it's under good auspices, so it's nothing really to get too upset or bothered about. It's just some things change and are permanent changes. I did just read for a Capricorn, and I believe they had, ooh, maybe this was Sagittarius. I forget. Aquarius, if you have Sagittarius or Capricorn in your chart, though, I am going to ask that you cross-watch your moon and or rising and or sun in that sign, because they did also have those majors, and that could hold significant information for you as well. So 8 of Pentacles as the situation for the month for you, qualified by the 7 of Swords here, as I mentioned. So some tricky energy, some tricky communication, tricky decisions, tricky happenings around an apprentice issue. So if you've been working on something for a long time, something could feel tricky here. You could be trying to get away with something, or somebody could be trying to get away with something with you on a career front, a work front, a project that is already underway. It's already in process. There could be some courage necessary at this time in order for you to move forward with something that you believe to be true, that is out of the ordinary or even eccentric, especially if it has to do with your workplace or something you've been working hard on. So we do have the 2 of Swords sort of crossing that, qualified by the 3. So we're looking at a decision, but it's something that you have to look at closely. You have to clarify or have clarified for yourself. I would suggest here that it has to do with a conflict. I'm just taking 2 swords out. Here's the 2 swords, and you're left with 5, which is communicative conflict. So something within the work world, or what you've been working on, or an apprentice issue, something you've been mastering here, possibly at work, even your health, or money, investments. That decision could have to do with either moving forward or delays with moving forward regarding a conflict. And again, working with at least one other person here. This person could very well have your back, but there could be more at stake, just because we're looking at a 3 as opposed to the 8. Could just be a decision around who you work with right now. Could be changing, or you could have to make up your mind one way or the other, or you feel like you're being tricked into having to make a choice. Or you could be pressuring someone else into making a choice around how they work and who they work with. At your foundation, here's where we're looking at the direction you're taking, what you've taken rather, and what you expect for having taken that direction, qualified by the Tower. So something that you expected to come in here foundationally, possibly regarding income, assets, a person, or a sense of mastery here, is just going to be sort of undone, dissolved, enlightened. I do find the Tower suggests that something wasn't built on solid ground anyway, so it's going to come tumbling down. Even if it's about to be rebuilt, you can look at, structurally speaking, how it didn't work out. What was the reason why it sort of fell apart? But expecting something here, particularly within the first 2 weeks of the month for you, it looks like your expectations may not be met or may be dissolved and have to find a different route, find a different way of manifestation or realization. Here in your recent past is the Ace of Pentacles, qualified by the Four of Swords. So yeah, a new opportunity or a new direction, person, place, or thing is at a rest period. There's a rest period here. So perhaps you had been told, for example, that you were going back to work or back to school, or you could travel again, whatever the case may be. This is a general reading. Or a new opportunity, even a new investment, or getting a gift of some sort here, found in the Ace of Pentacles. You know, once we see the Four of Swords qualifying anything, we know that that is delayed. We know that that is not forthcoming. And again, we see this here, we see it again here. We see this friendship circle, this group of friends, or this perhaps even longing for friends. Like I said, we have, it's under the auspices of the Six of Cups. So friends are very important to you. Perhaps a Sagittarian individual is very important to you. But Jupiter energy, right? Lots of expansive healing energy. Not knowing exactly what to do within this environment or for or with friends can be its own reward. You can let something manifest organically here. Friendships could hold the answers to a lot of fear or delay. Certainly getting feedback. And then you can decide what to do with that. Here in your near future, we have the King of Swords qualified by the Hermit, right? The major arcana Hermit, indicating Virgo energy. This is service, this is health, this is parents and children, mothers and children particularly. But it's the going within. It's the wise old person within all of us, right? And then we have this clinical intellectual expert over here. Could be someone involved with law or medicine, as I said. But it's 11th house energy. It's Aquarius world energy. So, of course, this is volunteerism in groups of people, society at large. Going within to find the answers here, or just trusting yourself. Trusting, particularly if friends or their attitudes aren't helpful or aren't forthcoming in some manner, you can turn to yourself. You can rely on yourself. Friendships or peer groups may be relying on you for input, and they'll be reaching out to you to help them, navigate something here. And they trust you as someone who has a great deal of wisdom and an eye for truth and leadership and perspective. So you could be called upon to help people, I would say at least by the beginning of the third week. In this column here, we're going to pay attention a little bit more to the last 2 weeks of the month. We do have Cancer here, represented with the Queen of Cups, qualified by the Knight of Swords. So this is in the position with how you see yourself. You can kind of see they're looking at each other. You know, you're looking at yourself as someone who is both compassionate and wise, someone who has a lot of information to share with other people compassionately. You could be looking for an individual or working with an individual or inspired by someone who does have Cancer qualities or even Gemini qualities. And of course, this is communication through compassion or compassionate communication. And it sort of suits this area here as well, especially if someone's calling on you or you feel like you're being put in a position of leadership where you can help someone through a difficult position or situation. But there's a lot of news regarding perhaps a Cancer individual or a very sensitive, artsy sort of personality here. with the energy that you are expressing to other people. So how other people are seeing you is the Knight of Pentacles, qualified by the Death card. So major Scorpio influence here over Virgo. So service, again, Virgo energy that we saw right back here with the Hermit. So this is the minor arcana Virgo energy here. So as the card itself indicates, the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving, but a lot of good news regarding money, assets, health. And then death. So, you know, that's transformative. Something around that area, around service, health, provision, income, savings, slow but stable incremental growth. You know, it looks like there's a stop to that here with the Death card, but it's not just like it ends forever. Something is transformed here. So there could be a transformation around who you work with, as I said earlier, or what you do for work. This is interesting, not surprising though, to see in your hopes and fears. I mean, it is going to cause some concern, right? This is pretty normal. We have some Gemini energy here, qualified by the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords, for the record, actually have some similarities. The Two of Swords back here indicates a choice. This indicates, once we're at the Eight of Swords, we're at this state of awareness. You kind of know that this information isn't going to be necessarily what you want to hear, or have everything that you need in terms of evidence or facts or, you know, a long-term plan necessarily. But, you know, there's an awareness behind this as well. So you're aware of what you may be hearing isn't exactly welcome or isn't gonna last, right? We see this Knight of Swords back here with the Cancer, and then we see him back here with this Eight of Swords. Basically this sense of, I don't want to see it. I don't think I can handle it. But it's not always negative information. It's just information. It's kind of like, what are you going to do with it? So there could be some concern here for yourself or for someone else regarding an awareness of something. You know, maybe an old friend, maybe someone who has the strings to your heart, and a matter of justice or fairness. And then with your outcome or advice cards, right? This is really nice to see. Queen of Pentacles, qualified by the Eight of Wands. So a lot of perhaps even unexpected messages or information is going to be shared with you. This is a great deal of communication. It's very exciting. It's very excitable regarding your status, okay? So regarding your, I would say, who you work with, what you do for a living, your income potential, economic stability. Could have to do, you know, just in terms of Capricorn energy there, as the Queen of Pentacles represents. It could be what you do for the public, what you do in public, messages that are coming in fast and hard regarding the public. Perhaps you had worked with the public, Aquarius, and this is, you finally get word, for example, going into June, that you can go back to work. Or, you know, if you do have to go back to work, you're learning that there are going to be changes to it. How you work, possibly even where you work. All right, so I'm going to get out some oracles for you to polish off your reading. Nothing terribly upsetting here. It just looks like a great deal of realization. I am seeing transmutation come up quite a bit as well. The Snake card in my medicine card deck. I also, you know, in terms of symbology, the snake can deal with sneakiness, slipperiness, changeability, gambling with information, whether it's you or someone around you. Maybe that's just what needs to be solved here. Something was, there were too many hands in the pie or something. But further, snake can indicate a shedding, so a whole new world, right? Which is the transmutation, come through the other side of something, and you're going to have to. But it can also indicate medicine. All right, folks, just one more. Aquarius, if this reading doesn't resonate for any reason, pardon me, please feel free to cross-watch, go look at your rising and your moon signs. I'm a big fan. I have my own favorite YouTube tarot readers, and I always watch my moon and my rising and my sun. I find them very helpful. Particularly if one isn't resonating 1 month and it's, if something isn't resonating, give the other one a try. And you can always get your own reading for personal questions. Forgiveness is important here. I really do feel like this is going to be evident by the 3rd to 4th week because of something going on at the beginning of the month for you. Again, it's hard not to see this as something that's going on at work or because of work or even just someone you work with. The snake, as I was mentioning just a moment ago, this is transmutation. You can certainly transformation, transmutation. Something is significantly changing in a way that is, part of the goal here is to wrap your head around it. So you really do have to wrap your head around something here that may be changing. It may even feel unfair. It may even feel unwarranted. It may feel like it was too soon or too fast. But it will be working out at the end of the month. Shed something that's old for you, though. Get rid of something that's old. Forgive yourself or others at this time. It's going to open up some space for you, some healing space. There is a lot of healing energy here I want to mention as well. 4 of Swords right across from the Hermit, recent, past, and near future. These are both rest and recovery. The only other card I would say would be a really healing card would be the Star. We don't see that here, but we do have the King of your card. We do have the King of Swords. And, stars ruled by Aquarius. So lots of healing energy here is necessary, possibly within the mind, but, as well as the body, possibly finances. Give your relationship a chance, guys. Work on your partnership. So again, this could be with a Libra individual. It could just be about fairness and balance in general. It could just be about what's in your heart and how you're balancing your mind against what you're thinking. But work on your partnership. Make sure things are fair. Never-ending story does speak to an essence of drama. However, we are seeing some Scorpio energy over here. So there's just lots of intense feelings by the 3rd and 4th week. Again, it's hard to say if this is people in your environment or what you alone will be experiencing, but there is a sense of drama here. The little heart inside her glass is love me, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So, maybe coming to terms with something about yourself as an individual outside of a work or a friendship relationship would be helpful at this time. Certainly finding out something permanent and solid and stable about someone in your environment, however, perhaps a peer that you thought was sensitive to you or that you thought was helping you or you could rely on, isn't coming through for you, and this is causing drama. It is very interesting to see that the 7 is at the very beginning, though, right on the 8. So something having to do with this, your sense of moving forward and feeling great and creating a legacy and long-term stability. Just make sure here that you're not taking any unnecessary risks. All right, Aquarius, that is your reading for the entire month of May. Thank you so much for joining me. Guys, if you like my content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. If you have a second, comment below. And I hope to see you in the next video for your moon, sun, and rising signs. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.